She's dating a musician. What's up? I'm Senpai Wind, here with
Laura.
And this video is for Zombieland Double Tap. So both in movie time and in real time, this one takes place exactly 10 years later, right?
Yep.
Exactly 10 years later?
Yeah, exactly 10 years.
There. The four, Columbus, Tallahassee, Wichita, and Little Rock, are now living in the White House, right?
Yeah.
Living in the White House. And because it's been 10 years, the zombies have both changed a bit, like getting different behavioral patterns. I mean, well, I think that's sounds about right, considering it has been 10 years. And as Columbus was, narrating it, he actually gave off some of the names. The first one, I think, is both of our favorites.
Yes.
It's the Homer.
Homer.
It's called the Homer because it's really dumb.
Yeah.
Because as Columbus was explaining it, the Homer that we saw got its tongue stuck to a statue.
Yeah, because he tried to eat it.
And then there was the really smart one, the Hawking, which I think used a dead guy's eye to get past the security.
Yeah, and he used it as a passcode,
retinal scan.
Retinal scan.
To bypass the retinal scanner, right?
Yeah.
Right, and then there was the ninja.
Yeah. Who's really fast
really
and sneaky.
Really fast, sneaky, and you don't really know what's coming until
you're dead.
You're dead. And there was the one that was introduced this movie, the T-800s or Terminators. And those ones are really hard to kill.
Yes.
So I think we'll get to in a minute, but Tallahassee had to take almost over 20 bullets just to put one down.
Yeah, I don't think it was 20. I think it was about 9, remember?
I know it was way over 9, but it feels like the number was 20. It was definitely over 9. Go down to the legs. The first one, I do like Little Rock's arc here. The whole, at that adolescent age, it's understandable. We were adolescent once, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I know how she's feeling because I have an overprotective father. Tallahassee has that feeling with her, and he's
they do have that,
babying her.
They do have that bit of a father-daughter thing going on throughout this thing. It's understandable. Tallahassee, in the first one, Tallahassee lost his son. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember, he was a parent once upon a time.
Yeah.
But Little Rock also has the, desire to. I think the expression is leave the nest.
Yeah.
The nest. She wants to meet somebody,
Yeah, someone who loves her and maybe meet people her own age.
So it's completely understandable. I mean, in that group, she's the only one that's of that age. So. Yeah. It's completely understandable. That being said, every Tallahassee scene in this was straight up gold. Yes. Well, when he found out. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. And just every bit. We can talk about this one thing. The van they travel in.
Yeah, the van.
He hates that.
Yeah, it reminds me of my own dad.
It's.
Yeah, and there's a part.
He just hates that van.
Yeah, and there's a part when he just goes up to I forget what's it called, the side mirror, and he hits it off, and Wichita was like, "Whoa, what's that?" And he's like, "It was fun."
And Tallahassee's obsession this time around is not over Twinkies. We'll get to that in a minute. But Elvis Presley.
And there's also a girl around too.
We'll get to her in a minute. Actually, we can get to her right now. We can, because there several new characters are introduced here. There's Madison, Berkeley, and there's the girl. There's the woman, Nevada.
Oh yeah, that's her, Nevada.
Yeah, that's her, and two other characters that mirror Columbus and Tallahassee.
Oh my god. Played by Luke Wilson.
Yes. I think they go by Albuquerque and Flagstaff.
Yes.
Right. And they've got a similar almost.
But they're more religious.
Yeah, because Flagstaff's rules are like
commandments.
More like commandments, right? And they actually, you know, whereas Tallahassee doesn't, you know, make fun of Columbus for his rule thing or being awkward. They, those two are just like they travel. They probably travel for a long time, so they're probably really they've gotten closer. Sir, he said, I like the new characters. Well, most of them. I liked Nevada. I like the addition of Nevada and Madison. Madison's just a. I mean, I know this is a zombie apocalypse movie, but it's a comedy, so a ditzy character like her is just a delight.
Yeah, when Columbus accidentally shoots at her, and she's like, "It's faux fur!" And when Tahassee's like, "Oh, I know why the zombies didn't attack her. Because they go for brains, and she ain't got any."
On that one bit on the bridge with her and the binoculars, there is a Tallahassee. She looks to them, and Tallahassee just flips her off. That was hilarious. That was like, cause she was just a delight here.
But the thing is, I actually know girls with her personality. That makes the thing even worse. Who I went to high school with, and it's just like,
Oh man. Oh man. No, that was great. Berkeley is the hipster musician.
Yeah, but back to Madison about how Wichita, how jealous she was. It's like,
right.
Right. Yeah,
okay,
she's like, oh, you guys are us.
After Columbus almost shoots and misses Madison, they go back to the White House that Columbus and Madison hook up, right? And that was because Wichita ran off.
No, you forgot
It was after Wichita ran off because like Columbus wanted to get married, and you know she got cold feet and.
But Madison was desperate. She says, you or the old man.
Because it's been like what 10 years, and she was living in a walk-in fridge freezer.
And when Madison first meets Wichita, she's like, "Oh, is that your sister?" And yeah, Madison is the typical dumb blonde.
Yeah. Again, the ditzy character. It's I welcome it in a comedy, in a apocalypse comedy, like this one. But back to Berkeley. Oh man. And Tallahassee's reaction was perfect. She's dating a musician.
Oh, but the part when he says he's a pacifist.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But like.
Oh, do you think you were overreacting a bit?
But like, long story short, Berkeley, Little Rock, and Wichita after they drove off, they ran into Berkeley, and then Little Rock and Berkeley start hitting it off, and they drove off, leaving Wichita, and that prompts her to come back to the White House. Also in this, the zombie kill of the week sort of expanded, right? Or changed. Now it's like zombie kill of the year, zombie kill of the century?
Yeah, then
And we even got to see the zombie kill of the year with that one guy. He used like a mannequin family, then crushed a bunch of zombies with the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
That was good. Good. Again, people just finding new and creative ways to kill zombies.
It takes a lot of practice, that's why.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse, so. And it's a comedy, so I guess you gotta. Bring the laughs.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so moving on to the dislikes. So going back on Wichita. So again, I'm putting her in the dislikes in that she does the same thing that she does in the first one. Like in the first one, whenever she gets close, she runs off. In this one, Columbus wanted to get married, right?
Yeah.
And then overnight, she drives off with Little Rock.
Yeah, I see she did that maybe because of her past. I know it's been 10 years, but still. Yeah. You can't just get over her parents' death, everything that she once knew. It's traumatic.
Right. Yeah, but even then, you think you'd feel with 10 years with the same people. You think you'd feel safe again,
That's
and not
true.
feel the need to run off. It just feels repetitive, regardless of not being able to get over it. It's repetitive. I was just hoping for something different with her. The two of the new characters. Now back to the two of the new characters, Albuquerque and Flagstaff. Again, I'm putting them here because really, why were they necessary? Their characters solely existed as to be like a reflection or clones of Columbus and Tallahassee. But unlike Columbus and Tallahassee, those two actually are close.
So maybe they can actually see themselves, because maybe Tallahassee can see himself. Because remember, he goes back later on in the movie to help everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe he can see that I'm not a bad guy, and he can see that he's actually a good guy, and how important that family is.
Yeah.
That's the reason that he met those guys.
I don't know. It just seems like they're only there. It just seems like they're only there for that one scene. And then they're only there for that one scene, and then they just get bitten, and Nevada, Columbus, and Tallahassee are forced to kill them because they're bitten and they become zombies. And because they were Terminators, I think they were going to turn into Terminators, or they were going to be Terminators.
Yep.
It just seems like it just seems like another unnecessary thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think for the sole purposes, because it's a comedy, I can see why, seeing your own reflection, it's like, what was I on?
Yeah, and Wichita was like,
What
hey, what about me? I'm supposed to see someone like me.
Everyone knows that. Everyone that knows Zombieland knows that Columbus has these lists of rules that he's made to survive, this zombie apocalypse world. But even the ones that that have been stated before, they keep popping up, like everywhere, and just about it, and not every scene, but two-thirds of the movie, I think. Doesn't that get repetitive and annoying to you?
But repetitive, but they kind of did it in funnier ways. Funnier ways, like
the graphics were done differently, or
yeah, graphics were done remember when he had that alone time with Madison? It says make sure you use cardio.
Oh, right.
I'm not gonna go into detail about that. We're gonna
we know they hooked up. We know they hooked up
and said make sure you use your cardio, and yeah. That kind of graphics, and it says travel light, and Madison comes in with her 6 bags, and it tells her how she's like, I'll carry your bags, and he just throws them to his side.
Okay, in funny ways I get that. Right. Or when Tallahassee was doing several shots, shooting the Terminator several times, instead of it being the double tap, the number just keeps going up because that Terminator just would not die.
Yeah, he's like, why won't you die?
That was something that felt the thing, and with the whole Terminator thing, it took several shots to put one down, but yet a monster truck is able to run so many over killing them easily in the climax. I mean, I get it's the climax, but it was set up earlier that these Terminators were nearly impossible to kill. So it just seems like a bit an inconsistency there.
True, I didn't see that.
Yeah. And they used the monster truck because that place that and earlier in the movie, Berkeley was talking to Little Rock about this place called Babylon, which it's a huge safe haven full of people.
A happy house.
Mostly hipsters. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically that's zombie free, right? But they have this really dumb rule. okay, I can understand the no guns, not wanting to use guns on each other, but like, they melt your guns.
Yeah, into peace necklaces.
Into peace necklaces. I'm like, that is so dumb. I mean, I get it. You've been zombie free for so long, but again, don't you want to think you want to hold on to the guns just in case some zombies do come around? Because they do. Because that's where those Terminators, that large sum of Terminators and one Homer are going. And that's why they had to use the monster truck. The one that Albuquerque and Flagstaff rode in on. No.
In Nevada's driveway.
In Nevada's driveway. So
pun intended.
Very, very intended. Very intended. Intended. Again, that's just really just say like melting. It just seems so dumb. It would be. I mean, like, possibly you could have just stored them away, but you melt them into peace necklaces. One more minor dislike, not really much of a dislike, more like this one doesn't really make sense. If it's a pop culture reference, it doesn't make sense. Columbus, near the climax, Columbus makes a Thor joke, a Thor reference. Whereas the first Thor movie didn't come out till like 2011, and the first Zombieland was like 2009. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So the only way, again, doesn't really make sense. Doesn't really make sense pop culturally. The only way it would make sense to me is if Columbus read the comics, which he probably does.
Yes, that's true. He's very geeky.
Very geeky. Because like in the first one, he was playing World of Warcraft when the apocalypse started.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He never directly said he did, but if he made that joke, it's probably implied he did. He did.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. And he made that joke because Tallahassee was carrying a hammer that looked like Mjolnir.
Yes.
There. And you had one.
Yes. I know it's a thing in the first one, but throughout the first one, Tallahassee wanted a Twinkie.
He was obsessed with
yeah, he was obsessed with finding a Twinkie.
But he has a new obsession this time.
And I know in this one he's obsessed with Elvis, but this one he doesn't mention a Twinkie at all. I know it's been 10 years, but 10 years ago I loved coffee, and 10 years now, and I still like coffee, but he does not mention Twinkies at all.
But here's the difference, though. We're not in the zombie apocalypse. They are. So yeah, he was obsessed with Twinkies the first time. Now that he's had it, 10 years from now, no. He probably had to get over that obsession. Because that was probably the last Twinkie ever.
But still, I would have liked to see a scene or something with Tallahassee with the last Twinkie on Earth, like him having a meltdown. That would have been interesting, like no, him screaming or something, or him in the Twinkie factory. That would have been a cool scene to see, but.
He had Berkeley for his meltdown. He had Berkeley for his little outburst meltdown.
But that would have been a bigger meltdown. He would have killed someone, like a non-zombie.
Probably. I don't know. No. There is a post-credit scene. Is it just the one?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just the one. It was with Bill Murray, and I think, and a little context. There was a term that was sort of coined here that Nevada used called Murraying.
Yes.
And it was used to describe how Columbus shot Bill Murray in the last one.
Oh yeah, Murray as well, I think.
And yeah, Columbus. I think in the end of this one, Columbus apologized.
Oh yeah.
And brings us to the post-credit scene, showing us what he was doing when the apocalypse broke out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about the the third Garfield movie that never happened.
Oh.
And some interview, like a couple of his interviewees and a few people outside his interview room were starting to turn, and he was just taking the chair and just started whacking the zombies. Yes, and that's what he was doing. Well, that's Zombieland Double Tap. Until next time, rule number 7: travel light, And rule number 32, enjoy the little things.